Most people hear the phrase, the sale doesn't even begin until after you've heard at least 4 no's. And they think of some sleazy, pushy, abusive salesman with their foot in the door. But seriously, think about it. When was the last time that you ever bought anything from someone who was rude, pushy, abusive? Never, because it doesn't work. That stuff looks great on social media. It's clickbait for teenagers who just haven't had enough real world experience to understand that people don't buy stuff because you yell at them. Nobody buys something because somebody's abusive. Our job as salespeople is to lead them, to coach them. Why? Today, if you've tried using fancy hyperbole or magic with numbers, your customer has a phone. They're going to pick it up and go, ChatGPT, or whatever the next AI is, and say, what do you think of this? Does this make sense? Is this best for me? Or just scan it over the paperwork. Does this deal make sense? Now, if that hasn't happened to you already, it's going to, because that's the reality we're in today. So what we need to do is coach our customers so they believe they're making the right decisions for themselves. Because that same conversation could go like this. Hey chat, you know that problem I said I had? Well, I found a solution. Look, it does this, it does that, it does this. What do you think? Under those circumstances, ChatGPT is going to give a response that benefits us. Yeah? So we need to understand now more than ever that this is a coaching process. I like to think of it as live like a lion, sell like a coach. And to do that, we have to keep them in a conversation with us, even when they want to take an easy exit out of that conversation because the path we're going down doesn't feel as comfortable as the path that they know. The way we do this is inserting creative expression into a healthy and respectable and valuable conversation. So for example, the customer might say, look mate, it sounds great, but I just don't have a need for it. As salespeople, we see that for what it is, a smokescreen to exit the conversation early. And we don't argue with them because nobody gets paid for arguing with people. The first thing we do is agree with them. Yeah, absolutely, I can see where you're coming from. You really seem to be on top of this. Or if they've just said that they're using your competition, we don't put the competition down. Instead, we agree with them. Yeah, totally. And can I just say, I really think XYZ company are really lucky to have you as customers. Do you mind just answering a couple of questions for me just for myself? What are they doing that's working for you right now? And the customer thinks you've given them an easy exit. So they answer, oh, they're doing this, that, the other. And then you ask them, and what's not working for you right now? Oh, and what's that costing you? And now what have we done? We've created a gap from where they are to where they want to go. Tony Robbins does this all the time. He healthfully and respectfully brings people back into the conversation and doesn't let them have an easy out so that they have a real honest chance of bettering their lives. We can borrow that same technique and use it for our product or service. Now, to offer real value, we have to go a little bit deeper to really understand what's holding people back. And to do that, we need to explore our supervillains and see what they really are. So who are these supervillains? Well, the first one is Objections. Objection is a supervillain because basically he shoots smoke bombs. It's too expensive, or I need to think about it. Well, how long do you need to think about it? You just told me you've been struggling with this for months. How many more weeks do you want to struggle, or could we just get it resolved right now? The second supervillain is obstacles. Oh, well, I would do that, but I can't make a decision without my wife or my boss or the Easter Bunny. And the third obstacle is negativity. Now, this thing is like a leech. It is an energy draining monster. Seriously. Negativity. I swear, if there's one thing, I'm not interested, get out. Defense, defense. We can see the objections. Yeah, sure, they're supervillains. But aren't they really just cries for help? I mean, really. It's too expensive. What are they really saying? I can't afford for this not to work. Sure, if it does what you say, absolutely it's worth the investment. But man, if I'm wrong again, yeah, I don't want to make a mistake. That's what that is. That's all that is. They're like a wounded bear. All of the supervillains, they're all cries for help. This obstacle, I can't overcome it. I can't overcome it. Well, have you been saying that about everything your entire life? How many things did you think you didn't have the resources for when really you were just scared to take a step forward? Do you want to stay where you are? I know you don't want to do that. But you haven't been able to get yourself to take a step forward because at least where you are, you know the rules, you know what's going on. You feel comfortable in your own misery. If you take a step into the unknown, it can feel a little bit uncertain. What about negativity in general? Well, negativity in all sorts is basically a defense mechanism, right? I'm skeptical. As Tony Robbins says, no, you're just gutless. And that's okay because we've all felt that. I'm scared too. That's what you're really saying. You're scared. I don't know enough about this. I'm not certain. And that brings us to certainty. Remember, we're always selling certainty. And we've just entered the space. So these are the quote-unquote supervillains that are just fluffy clouds, really. And the emotional response, whatever it is, from our potential customers, the people we're there to free, the people we're there to serve, they're just caught in cages of their own pre-existing biases. If you know a little bit about how human beings interpret the world around them, we tend to take in electrical signals pretty much through our senses. Yeah? So you've got smell, you've got taste, you've got sight, you've got hearing. So all of our senses are taking in electric signals. And those electric signals are just data. We need to make sense of what we're seeing, of what we're hearing, of what we're feeling. And then we've also got feelings going on inside us, not just external feelings we can touch, but the feelings of, oh my gosh, I don't like walking into uncomfortable situations, or, oh, I love that person, or I don't like that, those feelings that are happening inside us. We can imagine things in our own mind's eye, and we can create pictures and images. If you really have trouble visualizing, look at something intently, close your eyes, and see if you can still see the thing you looked at. You can do it. You may not be great at it, but you still can do it. We can hear songs in our own head. Have you ever heard a song, last thing on the radio, just before you got to work, and you can't get it out of your head all day? It just keeps going round and round and round. So you can hear things inside your own head. Most of us are talking to ourselves all the time. So we take in all of these electrical signals from around us, and it gets filtered through the way that we make sense of the world, which is our pre-existing biases. A lot of the information that we see around us gets deleted. When I say a lot, most. Most of what's happening around us gets deleted because we couldn't take it all in. We just go crazy. Our reticular activating system acts like a Google search engine. It literally just lets us pay attention to the things that are the most important. That way we stay sane. So once our reticular activating system has filtered in the bits of information that are important to us and filtered out all the rest, what's left over gets all churned and mixed together and basically redefined through the way that we make sense of a world. So our pre-existing biases, what we like, what we don't like, what we've experienced, what we think, our global beliefs, our local beliefs, all of these things. So we never see the world the way that it is. None of us do. We only ever see the world the way that we are. So knowing that going into this situation, our customers are not seeing the world the way that it is. They're certainly not seeing our products the way we see them. They are all caged in their own minds the way that we all are until somebody presents a new way of hope for us. So when someone rejects us, they're not rejecting us. They're not rejecting our products. It's about them. It's their world and their perspectives. And we're simply here to help them find new and better possibilities, to present opportunity,